Well, welcome back, my Super Soul sisters and my Prosper Mum Clubs, ladies. Okay, I am going to talk to you today about are you a jack of all trades? Are you a jack of all trades? Such a common thing. I really see this a lot, and I tell you, this blew my mind when I first heard of it, because I was like, I wonder if that's what I was, or I'm being, when I first heard of it. So the expression jack of all trades, master of none. Okay, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? It's like if you try and be everything to everybody, then you're just going to be a nobody to everybody. Okay, and I know it sounds really quite harsh when you think of it, but I can't tell you how many small businesses really struggle with this. This is the number one thing. I was of the opinion that if the more I could offer, the better I would be. I'd have more services to sell, and therefore I'd have more clients. Okay, when actual fact, what happens is, because you're spreading yourself and your team really thin across the board, you land up getting mediocre results, or you might get some like unicorns or some really good ones where, because like by virtue of the fact that you're repeatedly getting asked for certain things, you might landing up being successful in that, right? But typically the way that the real success comes about is when you pick a particular niche, or if you're from the States, it'll say niche, which I always find quite interesting. But anyway, that's just the way you say things. It's depending on where you are in the world. Now, the idea around that is the more honed in you are, the more likely you are to become an expert. You cannot be an expert across the board for everything. So I was having a conversation with a client about this the other day, and saying, oh, well, we do this, we offer this, we offer that. And I was like, what's the thing that you're most known for? And it was this one thing. And I said, okay, fantastic. Let's have a look at that then. So we looked at that, and then it was, and no, but we want to branch out into this, and this. And I said, okay, where's the majority of your business coming from? And we went back to what they were strongest for. And I said, okay, fantastic. What percentage of your business do you think actually comes from the thing that you actually, promote most, that you are known for? And she said, when they went away, did the numbers, came back, and it turned out it was like 80% of their business came from this one particular sector of their business. So I'll tell you a little story. There was a lady, a very good friend of mine, who used to import African goods from Zambia in Africa, and she had like a flea market, what do you call it, a market stall that she used to go around to all the markets and sell all these like wicked products. And she had so many, and she's like, oh, I've got all these trinkets and I've got all these other things, and they were funky. There were some neat things there that you could buy, kind of like gift shoppy kind of concept. But she had these beautiful big broad brimmed hats, summer hats, and they were just gorgeous. I'm kind of showing my age here a bit, but I think it was like Pretty Woman. Didn't she have one of those beautiful big sort of broad brimmed hats, and just gorgeous, with little, like, you could fold it back and put a little brooch on it, and it's stunning, different colors and everything. And these were just flying off the thing, and I was like, wow, check that out. It was a hot day, and it was at the flea market, and it was middle of summer. And she said, oh man, those hats, they just sell like cookies, like they just hot sell. So I said to her, so sell hats? And she looked at me and went, what? And I said, well, why are you concentrating on trying to shift all the things that aren't shifting, which was all knick-knacky and across the board, all over the place, when we know we've got a hot seller, which are the hats? Buy more hats and just sell hats. Be the hat lady. And honestly, she was like, wow, you make it sound so simple. I was like, well, yeah, so it's getting clear. If you look at all the top, even knowledge products, individual products, they become really known for one specific thing. So, it's like Nikes. If you look at Nike shoes, for example, they're runners, you know, they're trainers, aren't they? They have varieties, they have different, you know, variations of trainers, but they only sell trainers, don't they? I mean, they not only sell trainers, they've branched into these other things now. But when you think of Nike, you think of the shoe, don't you? You don't think of the bags and the, you know, whatever else, the shirts they do have. But your first port of call is the trainers, because that's really where it all started for them. Then if you think about, you know, Apple computers, they really only have 3 products, don't they? They've got the iPhone, the iPad, and then the, you know, the MacBooks. Okay, they only have those 3 products. They're all computers, they're all devices, and they focus, you know, on Apple products. That's it, you know. So they branched into, you know, watches and things like that. But your first port of call, you know, you don't think, well, maybe people these days might think of a watch, but that came later in the game. But it's a variation of a device, isn't it? I mean, it is still a device now. You know, it didn't used to be. It used to not be a device. So the whole idea is the more specific you get, the higher the chance of your conversion. And even when you do paid ads, the more Google and Facebook know this, that it's, for example, say you went for Wanaka accommodation, okay, as an example, or Queenstown accommodation. Okay, when you're bidding on those words, they're very expensive to bid on for a start, but you're going to have a large portion of the market who have clicked on that ad. You're going to lose them, and it's cost you. Why? Because if you're a backpacker and you don't sell backpacking, you've now lost them. If that person is coming to stay in an apartment and you don't have apartments, that's just cost you $4 or whatever it is for that person to pay to click on that link to come through to your site. And they go, oh, well, you know, I don't know, maybe you are a homestay, you know, an Airbnb. Well, they don't want to stay in an Airbnb. They want to stay in a hotel or a backpackers. So you'd be better off fine-tuning your campaigns around specific things that you offer and that you're particularly known for. So if you're going to be a backpacker, be the best backpacker possible. And it's like, what are the offerings that you can, what are your USPs, your unique selling points that you can give that the others can't, so that it differentiates you from the others. Okay, so it's the same. Even though I'm giving you the example of backpackers accommodation, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. If it's a knowledge product that you're selling, you know, digital product, whatever it is, you know, course, whatever, become the person known for that. So, for example, with my Prosper Mums Club, I'm joining up with really well-known individuals that are known in their game. So who's the best course creator, you know, and who's the best membership provider, and you know, where they've actually got the traction. So when you think of somebody, their name, you go, oh, they you know, it's like, so people would be saying, like, you know, VICKI JANE, oh, that shoe lady, that shoe psychologist. Or Prosper Mums, it's like, oh, she's the lady, you know, that does that helps mums become prosperous, specifically mothers, you know, working from home, wanting to do digital products, ideally. It doesn't have to be, but that's you immediately go to that point, oh, you're known for this. So if you can get to the point where people are going to connect whoever you are with your brand, it's going to be easier for them to remember you, rather than, oh, the lady who does absolutely everything and I'm not really sure what she does. You know, that's not very useful, is it? It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm not clear what they do, you know. So you don't want to have it where people are saying that. So it's like, how can you get so specific? And it sounds so like, oh, you know, does that really work? But you've got, let's go back to the Google Ads concept. The more targeted you are, the more chance there is of conversion. So, you know, I talk about conversion rate optimization. One of the secrets to success there is to get real specific, and it's the more in the funnel, I call it in the funnel, more generic you are, the higher up in the funnel you are. So the further down you are in that funnel, the more likely there is chance of actual conversion. So you have less traffic, but it's quality traffic and it's relevant traffic, and there's a much higher chance of conversion. So I remember having a gentleman years ago coming to us for the digital side of the business, and they were all over the place, and they were selling these really expensive like beds, and they were sleigh beds that they were selling, which are $4 or $5 and they were in there with, we have something called the warehouse here, which is like where you could get a pine bed for $100, and man, he was losing thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm like, you're not even in the same bracket. You're competing against the warehouse with the really cheap beds. So how do we have it where it's sleigh beds and it's the right target market that you'd be going for, because it's so refined? So we changed the way that we targeted it for him, going for a different age bracket, newlyweds. Instead of just doing Google ads, took them into Facebook because it was of interest, weddings, that kind of thing. So we were able to get honed in. When you get real clear about what it is you're offering and very specific, then you have the ability to know who your target market is better, rather than just spray scattergun across the board. So I hope you found that useful. Just get real clear about your niche, I guess, is what we're saying here today, isn't it? It's that whole thing of don't be a jack of all trades, because I think that's one of the core reasons a lot of the small businesses fail. And if you're not sure, get guidance on that before you start putting money into anything. When you're building a site or whatever, you might even look at just doing 1 or 2 pages just with what you've got to go and test the market first. For example, if you don't think there's a niche for it, or you're not 100% sure, go test it out, do the research before you start spending loads of money, and then you go, oh, actually I have got a niche, but it's such a small market that they're probably not going to buy. So be careful of that as well. Anyway, I hope you found that useful, and if you did, please like, share and subscribe, and join us in the Vicky Jane channel Facebook group as well. We've got I'm going to be moving into the Prosper Mums Club stuff in the next few weeks, hopefully, so you'll have an opportunity to join me there for that. And the whole idea is to help mums make recurring income from what they love, and where it's a digital product or knowledge-based product that you can actually sell, that can be making you money 24/7 while you sleep. Doesn't that sound good? Sounds good to me. So it won't be just me doing that. I'll be finding people who have been successful at this, and I'll be interviewing them and asking them how they did it so that we can learn too. So hope you found that. Okay, namaste. Thank you. Bye.